Welcome to the Relationship Theory, everyone. Here we take difficult emotions and we talk them out like they are a regular conversation. Tonight, we have a topic for the extrasensory, for the socially anxious and the highly sensitive people out there. This one's going to be very interesting. I don't think people have ever really talked about this. I don't think that the people who are highly sensitive or naturally, or rather by default, socially anxious or extrasensory talk about this particular frame of mind that I believe all of them have in common, and it is this power of the mind's eye. Some people might call this the pineal gland, some people might call this infinite consciousness. There might be many words for this, but I really just want to tackle specifically the experience of a highly sensitive person or an extrasensory person or someone who by default has this socially anxious nature about them because of all of the senses that are, you could say, flooded with massive amounts of information. And here's what I want to offer. So I just mentioned the mind's eye just a few seconds or minutes earlier, and that's where I want to bring my focus on this video. I do believe that when it comes to the highly sensitive person, and at this point when I say highly sensitive person, I'm going to assume that is both the extrasensory and the socially anxious person. When I'm referring to you, what I really want to focus on is your ability for your mind's eye to play out over and over in a repeated fashion, in a very quick, in a very powerful and consistent fashion, I might add, what happens with your senses and how your mind's eye plays it out. I really want to focus on this because I think that when I want to offer the idea of focus, because that's what it is, what I want to offer when it comes to the idea of focus is that because your senses are so powerful, you need to imagine that what is happening to you, whether or not it's any of your senses, or whether or not it's happening within your sight, your line of sight, or in your vicinity, somewhere you're aware of or not, I need you to assume one thing, that it is happening directly in front of you. And here is why. This is why I want you to imagine that no matter what you hear, where you hear it from, no matter what you see, where you're seeing it, no matter what you feel from where you're feeling it, that I suggest you imagine that it's happening directly in front of your eyes. And this is why. It's your mind's eye. Your mind's eye is supplying you with pictures based off of the information that you're receiving through your five senses, or what that you're imagining in your mind in general, right? But it's still going to play out in your vision. It's still going to play out as if it was directly happening to you. It's still going to play out as if you need to manipulate your body in some way to encounter the object or the subject or the concept that you are facing. Your mind and your body are acting as one, and it makes no differentiation between what you might consider reality and what else you might consider as a dream or an imagination or an illusion. All of it plays a single part in what looks like life to you, and when it comes to your highly sensitive attributes. That strange thing that you're hearing, don't think that you have to look around for it to find out the source of the sound. Imagine that you're already looking at the sound. Don't think that whatever you see in your line of sight or your vision, or even if it's in the periphery, don't think that you need to actually look directly at the thing in your periphery to know that it's there. Know that it is directly in front of your line of sight. Don't think that the things that you feel, such as fear, anxiety, or paralysis, or some kind of electricity, some kind of current running through your body, don't imagine that feeling is happening from some ethereal place or some abstract place. Imagine that it's happening directly in front of your line of sight. Imagine that as it's occurring, you can see the thing happening directly in front of you. because your mind's eye is playing out that idea, that concept, that image, as if you were facing what that concept is and how it's affecting you. For those of you who might not know, it's your mind and it's your mind's eye that plays out what your body needs to validate reality. So when you allow your senses to play a part in validating your reality, but you do it unconsciously, you're allowing other things outside of what you desire to be your own reality to play a part in validating what may appear to be your life. And it makes you so tired, and you receive energy from all these different places and you don't know where they're coming from, and you feel drained at the end of the day. Yes, because you're receiving these things unconsciously, and it's not that you have to be mindful of it. You are already mindful. This is why you are a highly sensitive person. I need you to start understanding that when it comes to you being a highly sensitive person, that is just the way that your life is going to be by default. This isn't a negative thing unless you want to take it to that place. But what you do need to understand is that you cannot run away from these abilities anymore. You need to help yourself adapt to the fact that this is your life. Be responsible, and by responsible, I do not mean mature. I mean, take an account of what's occurring in your life and give it a name, give it a number, give it a feeling, give it an actualization in your life, give it something valid to you and to the experience that you want in your life, and stop letting things happen to you. Focus on it. Imagine that you know exactly where it's coming from. Allow your eyes to designate a place in your mind or in your body, even as you move through your day, or as you're going to sleep, or as you close your eyes. Imagine that you're looking directly at the thing that is happening to you. No matter how you feel, no matter where you are listening to it from, imagine that you can see it. I promise you that it'll benefit you in some wonderful ways, and you might have to give this some practice, because if you're the kind of person who knows that you have these feelings and you don't know where they're coming from, and it just stresses you out and you're just tired and you just don't want to do this anymore, you're going to have a hard time focusing or using your eyes. You might even want to refuse to look. But that's the issue, my friends. You might not want to look, and it's your refusal to look that's hurting your eyes. Remember that part in The Matrix, in the very first movie, where Neo asked Morpheus, "Why do my eyes hurt so much?" And Morpheus responded, "Because you've never used them before." When it comes to these senses that you have, start using your eyes to imagine that you know exactly where it's coming from. You don't have to know now, you just have to know. At least consciously help yourself be aware of the fact that what is occurring in your life, you can see. This is the relationship theory. Enjoy the rest of your night.